Wow. So Ghislaine Maxwell now fears for her life. It seems she's afraid that Donald Trump may try to kill her or send people to kill her. This after Donald Trump's Department of Justice says that they're going to be meeting with her. Donald Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi, I believe it's very threatening, her statement. She says that I am personally, the Attorney General of the United States, I am personally going to speak with Ghislaine Maxwell. Then the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who happens to also have been Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney during the case where Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts. He's now the number 2 at the Department of Justice. He says he's also going to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell along with FBI agents. So Ghislaine is absolutely terrified something's going to happen to her the way something happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the official report with Jeffrey Epstein is that he died by suicide, but Ghislaine Maxwell says no way he died by suicide. He didn't expect he was going to even be convicted based on the non-prosecution agreement that he entered into with Donald Trump's former labor secretary, then United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta, and that there was no reason why she thinks Epstein would ever have died by suicide. So the Daily Mail got the exclusive that she fears for her life. This, by the way, comes from her brother, who says that he's been told by Ghislaine that she's afraid someone's going to kill her. Here's how the Daily Mail reports it. Last week, Daily Mail revealed exclusively that Epstein's longtime girlfriend and right-hand woman Maxwell, 63, is willing to speak in front of Congress about the Epstein files. Now her brother, Ian, is revealing her sister's frame of mind in the wake of the botched release of all of the files. Now, another important thing to note, a MAGA Republican Congress member who actually wants the files released, Congress member Tim Burchett, he snuck in a voice vote to have a subpoena issued for Ghislaine Maxwell when some of the other MAGA Republicans were not paying attention and able to block it. So he was able to get Democrats and Republicans to vote for the subpoena of Ghislaine Maxwell. So as soon as that subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell's deposition from Congress went out or was issued, then MAGA Mike Johnson shuts down Congress. He says, we're going into recess, we're leaving. And then I'll show you this clip in a little bit. MAGA Mike Johnson says the reason we're doing this is we need to give Donald Trump space to figure out how he's going to handle the Epstein situation. And what Donald Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi, then said she was going to do, and Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, now Deputy Attorney General, they're saying they're personally meeting with her, and she's absolutely terrified right now. So here's more from this Daily Mail story. Let's bring out all the receipts here, folks. Ian Maxwell communicates regularly with Ghislaine Maxwell in jail on the phone, and she told the Times she fears for her safety. Prisons are very dangerous places, and we know from Ghislaine that there are serious staff shortages and more dangerous, higher risk category prisoners now being admitted to Tallahassee, said Ian Maxwell. For sure, she remains at great, if not greater risk, and has expressed her real concerns about this to me. He also said his older sister believes that Epstein may have been murdered, contradicting the DOJ and FBI's belief in the official theory that he committed suicide. The contemporaneous investigation of Epstein's death was cut short, cursory, and frankly shoddy, certainly as regards the duty's guard story the night he died. At least one distinguished independent forensic pathologist concurred with the Epstein family appointed pathologist that homicide was more likely than suicide, he added. So here's the statement now from Pam Bondi. After she said she was not releasing any lists or files, and then Donald Trump said it was all a hoax created by James Comey, former President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and former President Biden, Pam Bondi issues this statement yesterday. This Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead. The joint statement by the DOJ and FBI of July 6th remains as accurate today as it was when it was written, namely that in recent thorough review of the files maintained by the FBI in the Epstein case, no evidence was uncovered that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. That's an important paragraph as I read the rest of it to you, because this is what I think that she, Pam Bondi, and Todd Blanche want Ghislaine Maxwell to say in return to potentially give Ghislaine a pardon or have her have a retrial if she just says that paragraph. There's nothing that I saw. I'm unaware of anything. There were no connections with Donald Trump. And then the DOJ and Trump want to go case closed and then probably give her a pardon when Donald Trump leaves office as a last minute pardon and kind of make that promise to Ghislaine. Let me go on and read more. President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence, boss. It's actually not what he said. He at first said it. He said it's a hoax, that this is all made up, that it's one big witch hunt, is actually what he said. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say. Therefore, at the direction of Attorney General Bondi, I have communicated with counsel for Ms. Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak with prosecutors from the department. I anticipate meeting with Ms. Maxwell in the coming days. Until now, no administration on behalf of the department had inquired about her willingness to meet with the government. That changes now. Now, how odd is this? The United States Attorney General, the number one DOJ lawyer, the top prosecutor in the United States, is going to be the one to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Also, her number two, Todd Blanche. I want you to think about how odd that is. And this is false. The Department of Justice did previously reach out to Ghislaine Maxwell. You know when? When they prosecuted her successfully for sex trafficking, and she was convicted and sentenced to over 20 years. There was a prosecutor from the DOJ. You know what her name was? Maureen Comey. She was the lead prosecutor in the Southern District of New York who prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. So what does Maureen Comey think about all of this now? Oh, wait. Last week, the Trump regime fired Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor against Epstein and the lead prosecutor against Ghislaine Maxwell. So do you see what the Trump regime did there? And this is why I also think Ghislaine Maxwell is scared and terrified. And they're clearly telling her through, I think, that first paragraph, basically, say you saw nothing and maybe we can talk. Maybe there's a deal that can be made. Remember that Ghislaine Maxwell's family previously wrote an open letter that they published online saying, Donald, you should honor deals. There was a non-prosecution agreement entered into by your former labor secretary, the United States attorney from the Southern District of Florida, who said that you couldn't prosecute Epstein and you couldn't prosecute Epstein's co-conspirators. Honor that deal. And now we're seeing this. Then they fire Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor, who would never be okay with the Attorney General and Todd Blanche having an unmonitored conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell in this type of way, in this type of forum. Todd Blanche, the number two, the Deputy Attorney General, Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, he says, justice demand courage. For the first time, the Department of Justice is reaching out to Ghislaine Maxwell to ask, what do you know? How could you not interpret that as a threat? And again, that's not the first time. The first time the government reached out was when they criminally prosecuted her back in 2019. At Attorney General Pam Bondi's direction, I've contacted her counsel. I intend to meet with her soon. No one is above the law and no lead is off limits. And again, I interpret that as a threat. So then Donald Trump was asked in the Oval Office during that bizarre presser that he did with the president, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of Philippines. Trump was asked, do you support the DOJ seeking an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? Here's what Trump said. Let's play it.
Do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? Did you urge the Attorney General to see?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General has reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for an interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General is your former attorney who would be conducting the interview?
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold.
So a quick PSA for those of you on Medicare. The DOJ recently sued 3 of the largest Medicare brokers and carriers for allegedly deceiving customers, claiming to be unbiased while pushing them into plans that don't actually cover their needs, all to make a few extra bucks. Let's be real. Between Medicare scams, shady agents, and bloated insurance companies, it's way too easy to get stuck in a plan that's overpriced or just plain wrong for you. That is why I'm working with Chapter. They are the only advisors that compare every Medicare plan nationwide, and they tailor their recommendation to you so you get the coverage that fits your needs and saves you the most money. And the best part, Chapter's help is completely free. Completely free. There's no sales pressure, no pushing plans you don't need, just real advice that puts you first. People save an average of $1,100 by using Chapter. So if you're turning 65 soon or are already on Medicare, call them up at 82 Medicare. You won't regret it. Most people just wish they'd call sooner. Once again, give them a call. That's 82 Medicare, 82 Medicare. Give them a call. Most people wish that they'd call sooner. Call 82 Medicare. Now, remember what Donald Trump said back in 2019, 2020. As Aaron Rupert says, Trump sounded guilty as hell talking about Ghislaine Maxwell then during her sex trafficking trial when Donald Trump said, I wish her well. I hope she does good. Of course I wish her well. Epstein died. Didn't that other guy die in prison? He said, so I hope that doesn't happen to her. Listen to Donald Trump in his own words in 2020. Let's play it.
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
she has. She's been arrested for that.
Her friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, you do know that.
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that and
she's a alleged child sex trafficking.
Big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Okay, now here is MAGA Mike Johnson saying that he's going to bring Congress into recess so that Donald Trump can have the opportunity, the space is what MAGA Mike says. Let's give Trump the space to figure out how to deal with this. Here's MAGA Mike saying it in his own words. Let's play it.
As I've said many times, there's no daylight between the White House and the House. You have to allow the legislation to ripen, and you also have to allow the administration the space to do what it is doing. The president has said clearly, and he has now ordered his DOJ to do what it is we've all needed DOJ to do for years now, and that is to get everything released. So they're in the process of that. There's no purpose for Congress to push an administration to do something that they're already doing.
Okay, it's all adding up, right? Now, what additional data do we know? Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, he just did an interview with CNN where he responds to a question or the White House statement that Trump was never in Epstein's office. And Mark Epstein's brother's like, of course he was in Epstein's office. He was there all the time. Here, play this clip.
Something that the White House told us yesterday. We talked to a woman who accused your brother of sexual assault. And she also talked about an encounter with Trump at your brother's office. This was in 1995. She found it disturbing. She said she told the FBI twice to look into people around your brother, including Trump. But she talked about this incident that she said happened in his office. And the White House, their response to us, Mark, they were categorical. They said, quote, the president was never in Epstein's office. Is that true?
That's just another blatant lie, because he was there. The people that worked for Jeffrey in his office, You can find them. They can testify that they saw Trump in Jeffrey's office on numerous occasions. So for him to say he wasn't there, all I can say is that's just another lie.
Now, Mark Epstein says that again. Let's play it.
Mark, from what you know, from what you saw, how close was your brother to Donald Trump?
They were very close. They were good friends. Jeffrey used to sometimes tell me things that Donald said that were funny. I know Donald was in Jeff's office a lot back in the 90s. It's documented that Donald flew on Jeff's plane a number of times. I don't know if they ever checked, but I know Jeff flew on Donald's plane also. I don't know if they've ever looked at his flight logs. And they were good friends. I flew on Jeff's plane. It's known I was on a plane in 1999, flying up from Florida, and Donald was with us. And we were all joking around. They were good friends.
CNN also was able to dig up additional photos of Donald Trump with Epstein. Here, let's play this clip.
Of Epstein entering the reception at the Plaza Hotel. We can also see him in the background of another picture. That's Howard Stern on the far right, along with Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And Epstein is behind them at the wedding, almost seeming to be photobombing them. We also found this photo from just a few months earlier. Donald Trump with two of his children talking to Jeffrey Epstein. That's at the opening of the Harley-Davidson Cafe in New York in October 1993. You can see Ivana there. She would have been just about to turn 12 years old in that photo.
Yeah, you can see Ivanka right there it looks like between Trump and Epstein. All right, these are never before seen photos.
Now, back in July of 2023, Jesse Waters ran this exclusive. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell raped Maria Farmer in 1996. When she called the FBI, they hung up on her. They let him off the hook and with a sweetheart plea deal in 2008. How many other abused women were there because the FBI did nothing? So Fox previously presented Maria Farmer as a valid, authentic witness against Epstein. Well, now with audio surfacing of Maria Farmer saying, I was in Epstein's office, okay? And Donald Trump shows up. And Donald Trump points at me. And then Epstein says, no, she's not the one for you. Go in there. Go in the other room. Maria Farmer was in the office, Epstein's office, with Trump and Epstein. Here, play this clip.
The time that is most memorable to me is the time when he hit on me. Because I was in the office. It was one of the first times I started working for Donald Trump's a sleazebag. Okay.
Yes.
It was when I started working for Epstein, and it was 9:00 at night.
Right.
And Jeffrey Epstein's office was totally empty. And I told the New York Times this, but of course they don't tell the whole thing, right? Even though Mike Baker is amazing, but they would not allow him to tell the truth. Right. So basically, I go into this office. It's 9:00 at night, and I sit down. And a few minutes later, and I'm wearing running clothes. Okay, so it was really weird. It's 9:00 at night, and I'm wearing running clothes because I didn't have money, so I had to jog up there.
Right.
And so I've just struggled, for so long. So I'm like up there in the office, seated, and I've got my, my running clothes on, so my legs are showing. And in walks this man that, when I reported into the FBI, said that game show host Donald Trump, because I thought he was a game show host.
Yeah.
Because he's so cheesy, But anyway, so I said, I said hello to, he walks in, and I just kind of acknowledged him like a head nod or something.
Yeah.
And he immediately he's standing across the room from me, and I'm seated, and he's like, oh, Maria, no, he didn't. Sorry. I was just looking at something. He's standing across the room, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh, gross. This guy's so gross. Anyway, he's just glaring at my legs. Like, yum. I told my sister, I felt like I was his dinner or his lunch, Yeah. The way he was looking at me. So Epstein comes in. And by the way, I did not look good. I was like, I'm not exceptionally beautiful or anything like that. These are just gross people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like a normal person who went on a run, and I'm seated there. So he assumed I was there for him. And this is how I know. Epstein walks up to him and goes, no, she's not here for you. And they were smirking, and Epstein whispered something. He goes, go in there. And so Trump at 9:00 at night goes in the other room. There's someone in there for him.
Right.
I don't know who. But Epstein said, no, she's not here for you.
And Virginia Giuffre, who recently allegedly died by suicide in Australia, she talked about when she was an underage girl, how she was a towel girl at Mar-a-Lago. She was homeless. She then got a job as the towel girl in the Mar-a-Lago spa. And that's where Ghislaine Maxwell found her and brought her to Epstein to be sex trafficked. And then she was sex trafficked. Here, play this clip.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob, how to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself. And being a woman, it kind of surprises you that a woman could actually let stuff like that happen, but not only let it happen, but to groom you into doing it. And then there's Jeffrey who's telling you, I want it this way, no, go slower and don't do that and do this.
And here is Virginia Giuffre saying it again. Here, play this clip.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day, and I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice.
Happened at Mar-a-Lago. There's also in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial a 14-year-old girl who testified as Jane Doe that Ghislaine Maxwell brought her over and introduced her to Donald Trump. In a civil case regarding that circumstance, that 14-year-old girl said that Donald Trump Epstein made remarks to Donald. What do you think about this one? How do you think about, do you like this one? So those are just the facts that are out there. So we know what's out there already, and I understand why Ghislaine Maxwell must fear for her life, given all of these circumstances and what the Trump regime is now saying and what MAGA Mike is saying. So you have all the data, folks. I've laid it out, I think, pretty clearly. Judge it how you will. I laid out a lot here, in my opinion, how she must feel. But you heard her brother, so that's not opinion, what her brother said. So think about what you feel. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.